Hey, Pete here. Today, I'm going to put some resin and fiberglass cloth in here. It'll be epoxy resin and fiberglass cloth. See, I've pre-cut my piece to fit down in here. And you know, sorry I got a big mess here, but if it was clean, I don't think I'd know how to act. Anyhow, here's my resin that I'm going to use right here. This is some Z-epoxy, and this is their finishing resin. It works really well for what we're going to do here today. I got to get my measuring cup out. Here it is. Very important little item, as it helps you with getting your mix just right. Now, hopefully I won't bump anything. I've tried to position my boat here where you can see everything that's going on. You don't get to see me, you're probably being spared. You'll see my arms reaching in, and I'm going to use 2.5 milliliters of resin there, and then I'm going to use the same amount of hardener. Hopefully we have enough. I think that's what I used last time. I don't know where to go. Right there. That should be the amount. I've already done the side that is up here. And that looks pretty good so far. I'm going to mix the resin. You got to be sure to mix it really well. And you're probably wondering, how did you come to the conclusion you need 2.5 milliliters of resin to do this? Well, I just did the other side and I measured it. So that's how I know. And I wound up without having any left over. Be my luck. This time, since I'm videoing it, I'm going to I'll come up short. That's what usually happens to me. I come up short. And I'll mix more, and who cares, because I got more. Number one. And number two, this stuff takes so long to kick off anyway because of which resin it is. I usually like using the 30-minute epoxy, and I have some of that. But when I do things of this nature, I like the stuff that takes a little bit longer to kick off. Then I got an artist's brush here. Voila, you know, I'm Van Gogh, I'm not. But everything in here is pretty clean, free of oil, and being that this is a brand new boat, it's definitely free of all that stuff. And okay, so here we go. We're gonna get some resin on the brush here. Then you go in here and you want to get around the edge really good. Moving your resin around, you're going to try to spread it out pretty evenly, because after I get it all in here, I'll go around with a Bondo squeegee and spread the mat out that I put in here. Now, I don't remember what the weight of this mat is. It's a thinner mat, and it works really good for this. We almost got it spread around on the bottom, and see, here we go. We're taking out the last little bit. We got a little bit more just in case. You want to get around these edges really good, because you want your cloth to be nice and submerged in some resin there. And I like using epoxy resin. I started using it as an experiment, and I wound up liking it really well. It works really good. It's really tough. And, you know, they make surfboards and stuff out of this. People actually stand on them. So I figured if it's good enough to make a surfboard and, you know, countertop in a bar. There we go. Now that's all spread out nice and evenly. I'll set this up out of my way. Okay, now I've taken this fiberglass cloth here, and I sprayed it with some of this only on the edge. And I have just a very little bit, it's like less than an eighth of an inch of it around the whole thing. And I'm going to just set this cloth down in this hole. And you really want to get it to drop in there for the first try. There we go. Dropped in there pretty good. And I'm going to take this Bondo squeegee here, and I'm going to tap it all into place and get it in its spot really good. And nice. You can take it. You can take this Bondo squeegee and actually make this stuff slide a little bit. I didn't want to do that the last one I put in here because you guys weren't watching. I didn't have to slide it. It just dropped in just like it's supposed to. I wish you could see better what I'm doing, but I'm actually pushing this cloth down into the resin here, and the cloth just almost disappears. That's because the resin's soaking into the cloth really well. And that's what you want. You want it to soak in there really well. And makes it look really nice. Now this edge is messing with me. It's the off side. My offhand side. You guys have one of those? I'm sure you do. But anyway, I'm going to work this resin in, and I'm going to take this squeegee, and I'm going to run over the whole thing with it. It's really slick what happens here. It shoves the mat right down to the floor of your boat, nice and tight. And it makes a nice even coat of resin. And here we go. That's looking pretty sweet. I like how that's turning out. You see this edge up here, I don't like that edge very much because it's got that glue. But that glue has a really good, useful purpose that I sprayed on there. It's trim adhesive. That particular one is, I believe, 3M. There's other ones, Super 777. That's another popular one to use. And there we have it. It's in there. And the reason I'm putting this in here is I'm going to be gluing some things to the bottom here, like motor mounts, battery trays, and whatnot. And it also